Hi, this is Ross again from Ross Art and Craft, and we are continuing today with part 4 of the work on our colouring collection, doing the Gorilla colouring sheet. So previous parts, quick recap. Part 1 we did the planning part. Part 2 we concentrated on the eye, and the last part, part 3, we started working on the brow, and as you can see from that video, I continued across and completed the brow. So in this part we're actually going to start working on the nose, the bridge of the nose and the nose itself today. Okay, so with my plan, these are the colours when I planned it out that I wanted to use, so I've put those together. And like in the, pick those up, like in the previous video, these are all the colours that I've selected. In the previous video, I also added in the light sand pencil as well. So I'm going to do the same in this video because there's similar colouring across here as there was in here, and I used a combination of the baby blue and the sand to create the right colour, okay, which I hadn't foreseen when I was doing the planning. But that's it, the plan is just a starting point, so you can add to it as you go along. So let's get into the video. So there's a remarkable difference in colour here on this part of the picture, so we're going to just take a slightly different approach to the colours as we did before. Here we'll be using lots of layers of yellow, or the light sand, petrol blue, indigo, browns, and so on. Into here there isn't actually much browns going into it. It is more blues and the greys, so that's how we're going to concentrate on it. But to start off, I'm actually just going to, if I can bring this in so you can see both together, I'm actually just going to concentrate just a little bit on these areas here, because I don't know whether you can see, but there's like a lilac-y sort of tinge to these areas. So I'm first going to put a layer of lilac into these areas. Okay, just work out where these areas are. So I'm just gonna pop some lilac under, like an underlay of lilac in these areas. Okay, hopefully you can see what I mean by there being lilac in these. People see things differently, so you might not see the lilac that I'm seeing and thinking, what on earth is she doing? So just pop in, and in actual fact down into this area here as well. You can probably actually see it better into these areas on the main nose bit as opposed to the other areas. But there's definitely lilac undertones. Okay, so that will be the first starting point, and I'll probably add some more in as I go. So then I'm just going to check the colour of my pencils, because obviously it's been a while, so I'm just going to, since I did the plan, so that's the ultramarine, and that's the one we're after, that one. This one comes in, so we'll go with that one next. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just coming in from this point here is where the blues really start, so I'm going to just put in a coating of this one's the iced blue, and we can build up on that. So I'm going to avoid these areas here because these are like the baby blue with that sand colour that I was on about. So I'm only going to bring this into these areas here, avoiding those paler blue areas, and we can always build up the other blues afterwards. Okay. Like so. Okay, so it's quite pale at the moment, but we're going to build it up gradually. So now I'm going to go in with this pale blue, again into the similar areas, and we're just building that blue up. A little bit more. And as I say, avoiding those paler areas. And this is just giving me, because there's quite a lot going on in this area, there's lots of different creases and dark patches and what have you. So I'm just sort of building myself a map, if you like, of where everything is going, and it just makes it easier for you to navigate where you're at when there's lots going on. Not exactly being too precise with this, but okay. So let's get some more colour in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at these dark areas, the ones that are on the actual sheet, printed on the sheet. These are your guides to your very dark shadows and what have you. So I'm going to put some petrol grey and some indigo into those, and start building those up. As some of the areas, such as this here, is more indigo than it is petrol grey. So I'm going to put some petrol grey in that edge there, but then I'm going to fill the rest of that shadow area with the indigo up there like that. This is a combination of the two, indigo and the petrol grey. And you've got a petrol grey patch into there. This is petrol grey. So just picking out which bits are bluey, which bits are grey, and just working the two pencils together to just start building up the structure of all the shadows and what have you. Okay. And I trace it with my finger so I can work out where I'm at. A bit like following a map. So I'm doing this quite quickly because I like to be able to just keep each part video down to sort of just over the 20-minute mark if I can. So there's a lot to do in this 20 minutes. So, but hopefully it gives you an idea of how, oops, that was my light fell over. That's it. Disaster averted there. It's probably me shaking the table too much. I've forgotten what I was saying now. So I just want to give you an idea of how to build up these areas. And obviously everybody finds their own unique way of doing it. But this is my formula, if you like. This is how I work it. But the method might not actually work for you. So it's not set in stone. This isn't how you've got to do it. It's just the way I approach it. So, okay, so I've put quite a bit of the dark detailing in there. And as we go, I will build more up on these. Okay, I'm going to go to the ultramarine now and go back into the blue areas, and now I'm looking at these darker blues in here. Pop some grey into there. So you can see I'm starting to build now. Okay. So obviously there's a lot more layers got to go on. So now I'm just going to go for that sand and the baby blue into these areas here. So we've got some paler blues coming down into here, over into there. Here, and there's a larger area where the light's hitting the main part of the nose into there. So I'm just going to go over that with a little bit of the sand, just to turn the blue slightly greenier, if you like. haven't done any of this area yet. Put another layer of the blue over, like so. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in the, I think it's a Persian blue. What's the petrol one like? Hold on a minute. Not a huge amount of difference between them, I don't think. I think it's this one we need. What is this one? That's the petrol, isn't it? It was the other one. I thought there was two that I'd have got. Might be wrong. Oh, yeah. There's a pencil rolled away somewhere. Let's just try this one. Yeah, right. So, if I can get myself organised. So I'm going to put some grey over the top of the ultramarine in places, which is bringing out these shadows here and the darker colouring. And then I will also add in some indigo, bringing it out from these shadows and into the bluer area. To start to strengthen the colours and build up the shadows. And get some of the shaping in. What's the ultramarine? Where's the ultramarine pencil? There it is. Going in with the ultramarine again. Don't forget, your colour scheme could potentially be completely different to mine. You don't have to follow my colouring from my original artwork. You can go for the more traditional sort of blacks and greys. But even so, this guide sheet still proves quite important and quite useful, because you can from that see where all the shadow and all the light is, and it helps you put together your colours and your areas that you're working into. Right. Switching back and forth between the ultramarine, the grey and the indigo, and I'm also just going to put some light sand into this area here, into some of the shadows. So I've probably actually taken that too dark there, so I'm just going to use my putty rubber and just fetch some of that back a minute, like that there, and put some pale blue into there. Just a little bit too dark. Got carried away, as you do. I'm going to put some lilac back into there. That's better. So just working your colours backwards and forwards between all the different colours, layering it up as you go. Just building up the areas with your colour. Do it gradually, because then you can always add colour, but you can rub some of the colour out, but it doesn't remove it all, and so you can add easier than you can take away. So it is much easier to just gradually build up your colours rather than going in quite dark from the get-go, should I say, and then struggle because you've put colours in the wrong place. As you've seen, I've overcoloured where I've got carried away. It happens, and so you want to be able to build it up gradually, so that in actual fact you don't make the mistake I just made there, where I coloured in an area I didn't mean to. But I am rushing it a little bit. So you can see it's starting to build up now, and I shall go backwards and forwards with the different colours, just building up the areas gradually, and start to get the shapes and the tones in where they're needed, swapping between all the different colours and the pencils as I go. It is quite a slow process, but it's quite rewarding. You just have to stick with it and just work at it slowly, because as I say, if you go too quickly, mistakes can be made, and then you're struggling to get it back to where it needed to be. So and with everything, some areas will work really well and other areas you might struggle with. Just trying to get that balance between the different tones and colours. So I shall keep working on this, and I'll get a large majority of this nose area done, and then we'll look at going into the mouth area down the bottom here, where it goes very similar into the similar colours that we had into the eye area up here. Okay, so as said previously, you can get these sheets as a physical copy, which includes the actual colouring sheet itself, which has got your shadow guides on, and then you also get your full colour guide sheet there of my original artwork. That's a physical copy, but you can also buy a digital download, which again, you get a digital copy of this, and you can print them off at home as many times as you like on whatever surface you like. So I shall continue and build this up a little bit more, and then please join me again for the next part where we start working into the jawline, and then we'll just have a final one working into the hairline here where we've got all the browns and things. Okay, so thank you for joining me. I hope you're enjoying following me colouring this sheet in, and I'll see you again.